Now the measurements to exhaust, way out. Way out. So I come over here, I just write every measurement I do down. So what I got here, the front right there was greater than 2.3, greater than 2.5, the gap, greater than 2.28, sorry. And it's either equal than or greater than 0.30. I don't have anything close above a 0.30, but it's a very tight squeeze, so I'm guessing it's really close to that. Now that's way out. That's crazy. On the side here, I couldn't get a 0.30 through that one, so it must be greater than a 0.28 because it fit, but less than a 0.30 that I didn't fit. So we know we're really close there. On the back, we've got a tolerance of 0.10, 0.5. So what we've got here, it's less than 0.15, couldn't get that in. Less than a 0.13, I couldn't get that in. But greater than a 0.10. So we know it's in between a 0.10 and a 0.13, which is within our spec, so we can tick that guy off. Friggin' only one. This guy got equal to or greater than 0.15 as it fit in there. But I couldn't fit a 0.17, so it's within 1.5, 1.7, which is outside of the tolerance again. So we've got to work with that. Here we go down here. She's already been shimmed before, so that's what we're currently running. A 3.05 in the front right. Stock at the moment. 3.0s, 3.05, 3.05. So I'll quickly figure out what I got to put in there now, opposed to what's in there, to close those gaps up. Now, this isn't the most friggin' unreal drawing here, but if you see your lobe here, we're measuring this gap between the lobe and the bucket. It's obviously exaggerated a fair bit right there. Then you've got the bucket that covers up the shim on top of the valve stem. Now that's your shim, that little guy there. Now, this gap, in order for me to close up the gap of 0.30, so that's 0.30, this gap, it should be a 0.22. So we've got to get a bigger shim to close that gap. Now, that's not always the case, but in my case, it is. So we've got a bigger gap on all three of these. We've got bigger gaps, so I've got to get bigger shims to compensate for that. Now, I'll quickly work that out and get back to you. Right, so this we're going to do. This front right, 0.30, I'm going to say it's sitting at. So if we go 0.30, I want it to sit at least at 0.20. So if I take away 0.20, it's a full 0.1 to get us there. Okay, so that's what we need to get back to that. Now that is what we have to add to what's currently in there. So back to here, 3.05 is what is in there now, plus 0.1. It's pretty simple, use a calculator anyway. Now new will put us at 0.20. Okay, that's going to give us 0.20. Now, I could probably go to 3.20, but that's going to send me, according to my measurements, because I couldn't measure any more than 0.30 due to my files, my feeler, that would put me another 0.5 less than that, which would put me at 1.5. Now that'd probably be right because it's probably a little bigger than 0.30. But I'm not going to do it like that. I'm just going to run with the 3.15. So that's the new for the front right. I'll quickly do these other ones. So if we look here, it's 0.30 again. That's currently running a 3.0, but that one. So 3.0 plus 0.1, yes, easy. Okay, so that's going to be a 3.10. It's currently a 3.00 in it. This is the new. Okay. Back right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. 0.15 and 0.17. So it's currently sitting between that, which I'd rather be a bit closer, but we really can only take it at 0.05 to close that up. 0.17. That'll put us into a 0.12. So that'll be a 3.05 now. That's what'll go in. This one will stay, which is a 3.05. Alright, can't really read that. New 3.15, new 3.10, 3.05 new, opposed to a 3.00 that's in it. That'll bring that gap down. If it's reading at 0.17, it's probably a little under. That'll bring us within 1015. Perfect. These two up here, way out. Shouldn't have been that bad. Okay. What you want to do before you undo the clamps there on the cams, just double check you're at your top dead center marks. So I'll quickly go in here, make sure we're all center there. Then we'll throw a marking on the cam chain and cams, make it easy to get the timing back. It's not necessary, you can do it other ways, but it's actually takes the thinking out of it later. We'll also we'll come down here and mark the chain adjuster right there too. We take that out. Alright, so I've double checked that we're top dead center. Now to save with the timing, just get some of your missus' favourite nail polish. Just throw a little mark on there so we know which way that goes. The timing, the belt adjuster. Also, just run it on. You want to run it on the chain and the cam. On that side, chain and cam on that side. Now that's just going to save a shite load of time trying to get that timing back. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is undo the cam chain tensioner. Undo the center first. Be careful of this because it's got a spring in there, it's going to want to push. This will take all the tension off the cam chain. Alright, so once it's all the way, just thread it back in one. Alright, so that's that. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is take off the cams to have the clamps here. Now underneath these sections here, we're going to have a C-clip that actually sits in a bearing. It holds the bearing there from going this way. So once we pull this off, we're going to have two here, and we're also going to have dowels underneath these bolts. So you want to undo this in a crosshatch slowly, and when we're pulling this off, we've got to be certain we don't drop anything down the motor, because like a lot of people will tell you, that's going to ruin your day for certain. Alright, so they're now all loosened off. Okay, next thing we're doing is pull this cover off. Like I said, we've got to be careful of these C notches here and the dowels. I'll just grab this O-ring out, put it aside. Try and lift this off without blowing my camera apart. Okay, we had one dowel come. You're best off trying to get that back in there. And that back corner there, that's back in. C-clip. 1, 2, different sizes. Okay. So just lay them. If we come back, just lay them on the paperwork in what orientation they were. Right, so when we're taking these cams out, the single most important thing is this old mate cam chain doesn't drop down the motor. Once again, this will ruin your day. Okay, the first one's not too much of a problem because we've got the other cam there. So we can just jump in here. I don't know how well you can see it, but whatever. You don't want to pull on that chain either too much. One cam. Watch that chain. Remember that front cam's got the D-cell on it. So that's one way to tell which cam's which. Is on the front. Now, a lot of people like to tie the chain up. I usually just push through something that's going to hold it. Anything. Second cam. Oh, that worked well, didn't it? Okay, both cams out. Righto, the next thing we want to do is get these buckets out. Now, you're better off doing all this at one at a time. You don't want to get too ahead of yourself. So we might do those first. The best way is get one of these telescopic magnets to get the bucket up. Should hold the shim in there nice too. So once we grabbed it on, slowly bring it out. Just be careful with it because the shim either is not going to be in the bucket. It could be in top of the valve stem there, or it could be in the bucket. I'm not sure if you can see there. We've got that shim in there still. We'll take that out, replace it with the 315.